So this week we have to do the functions, and I'll be doing some sample functions. So before going more into the functions, let's revise the code block. I have not done the code block, but because it is too easy, I think many people know, but I will do a revision of code blocks today. And not only the code block, I may say conditions and loops. So I will be doing that today, and if possible tomorrow. If it's not completed today, I'll do tomorrow also. So the conditions provide a simple but powerful way to control the flow of execution through piece of code. Loops allow you to perform the repeating operations with the less code. So I'll give some more example. I just gave you the definition. So what we are going to learn? We are going to learn if conditions, and we will be learning switch statements, and we will be learning while statement, and do while statement, and for loops, and for in loops. So these are the things which we will be looking in this topic. So first let's go with the code block. What is the code block? So code block is something, so if you have a condition or loop, and that condition is followed by a code block. So code block starts with the curly bracket and ends with the curly bracket, and there is a condition here, there is a code here, that is called code block. So there is a code inside this curly bracket. So that will be the code block. So for example, I can write a code block. Generally this code block starts with the if condition or while loop or for loop, but what we write in the code block? In the code block we write any code or any statement like var a equal to 1. I will say var b equal to 3. So there will be multiple lines of the code inside the code block. It can be one or multiple lines inside the code block. So the code block starts with curly bracket, ends with the curly bracket, and we have multiple statements inside the code block. So we can have nested code block. So for example, I can start one code block and I will put var a equal to 1, and then I will say var b equal to 3, and I can have, though it is attached with if or while condition, but right now I'm not showing that part, I'm just showing the code block. I can write var c equal to 1. So it can be nested also. Okay, so this is the code block. Now we will see the real if condition and other things where we will be using this code block. So there are some best practices in the JavaScript. And what are the best practices? First thing which you have to remember is always end the statement with semicolon. So JavaScript is not very particular in semicolon. Like in Java, if you don't put semicolon in the end, you will get error. But in JavaScript, if you put var a equal to 1 without semicolon, then also it's a valid. But it is best practice to always put semicolon in the end. So this semicolon is always to be put in the end. Though if you don't put it, then also it will work. Another thing, whenever you write some condition or anything, it's better to indent your code. So what is better? Indent your code so that you know you are in the if condition. If you indent your code, the code looks neater and cleaner. But if you don't indent like this, var a equal to 1, here I am not indenting, so the code does not look good. So it is best practice to indent your code, put semicolon in the end, and use curly bracket, that is a code block, whenever needed. So it's, if some people can do like this also. If some condition, I can put a curly bracket, that is a code block. But if it is one line statement, I can skip this curly bracket. I can also say var a equal to 1. So without writing the code block, I can write it if it is one line statement. So it is, it's up to you if you want to put curly bracket or not, but the best practice is always put the curly bracket. That makes your code unique or standard in all over the places. Okay, let's go to if condition now. First thing which we will do is if condition. So I will create one sample code and then we will go and understand what is the if condition is. So I will give var a equal to 3, for example. Then I'll say var result equal to an empty string. Then here I will check if a is greater than 2, then I will update the result value to something different. I will say result is equal to a is greater than 2. Okay, so I put the condition a, and what I'm getting, the value of result. If I check what is the result, result is nothing but this value. Why I'm getting result this value? Because a is greater than 3. So let's see what we did in this if condition. So in the if condition, we have the if statement, that is we have if, and then we have the condition in the parenthesis. So we have the parenthesis and we put the condition here. This is the syntax of the if condition. So we put the condition, whatever condition you want to put, and then we have the code block. This is the code block. Then we have code block. So what we did in the if condition, we put the if statement, then we put the condition in parenthesis, and then we put the code block. So this is the syntax of if condition. Now this condition can be any operator. We can use logical operators here, like exclamation, not, and, or. We can put logical operators. We can use comparison operators like triple equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, and all other comparison operators. We can put any value that can be converted to a boolean. So anything you feel that it's a boolean, like true or false, that you can put in the if condition. And if that boolean value is true, it will go inside the code block, and if that boolean value is false, then it will not go inside the code block. Or we can have the combination of above rules. So I can put a logical comparison or value. I can combine multiple operators and put it inside the condition. So the condition can be any combination of this, single or combination of these 3 lines. There can be also optional else condition, which will look like this one. If I will put condition and I've end the condition, and I can also put else statement, and I create another code block. So if the above condition does not goes well, then, or if this condition is false, then it goes to else part, and else part will give me the result, whatever result it has. So if the condition is true, it will go in the if block. If the condition is false, it will go in the else block. That is what we get it. So I can, like I did here, a is greater than 2. I can say if a is greater than 2, put this one. I can say else, I can change the result is equal to a is not greater than 2. So if I change the value of a equal to 1, I will get this part because this part is not true, so it will go in this part. So if this part is true, then it will go in this block, and if this is not true, it will go in this block. That is how we do the if condition. I know many of you know this one, but I'm just repeating for those who don't know. I can have multiple condition using else if. So I put if condition, else if, I will say condition 2, and then I will say else if condition 3. I can have multiple else if in the if condition, and in the last I can say else. That means if all these 3 conditions are not satisfied, then go into the else part. And if condition 1 is satisfied, it will not go here. It will display whatever it is here. And if condition 2 is true, it will display this. If condition 3 is true, it will display this. And if all the conditions are not true, we will go in the else condition. Okay, so let's see one example. So I will say a is equal to 3, for example. I will say if a is greater than 2 or a is less than minus 2, then show this one. Maybe I can say result is equal to 1. I'm just saying anything I'm putting. Else if I put another condition, a is equal to 0 and b is equal to 0, then go here. I have not defined b, I will define it b here. For example, 0. So if both are 0, then it will go to here, result equal to 2. And if finally I will put else condition, if above 2 are not true, then just say result equal to 3. Now since both are 0, I will be going inside this if else part, and the result value will be 2, which you are seeing here. If a would have greater than 2, then it would have gone here. If both conditions are not true, it would have gone here. So this is how we do the if condition. We can write multiple if condition. If I can say if a equal to 1, and inside if condition I can write another if condition. If b equal to 0, I will say a equal to 0 here, and I'll say inside that I'll say b equal to 0, and I can put some result equal to 4. Since both are 0, so it checks the first condition, and then inside it checks the second condition, and it gives the result equal to 4. So we can have multiple if conditions. So generally we checking if variable exists. So this is done in the if condition also, but we have to see what is the best way of doing that. So for example, if I have var result equal to this one, empty string, and I say if some var, then I put the curly bracket, and here I will say result equal to yes. So if I enter this here, you will see I'm getting error. Some var is not defined, because this some var is not really defined anywhere. So I'm getting this error. Okay, so this is let's say if you have created some var, then it's fine. But sometimes people forget to create the variable and try to use it. So in that case, the ideal way to do is like this. So if I put some var, it will give me error. But if I say type of some var, which is not there, so I'm getting undefined. So if I'm putting type of, I'm not getting error. I'm getting undefined. So I can take use of this one. And this undefined is a string. You will see this is string. So I can use this method to check if type of some var is not equal to undefined. That means if it is not undefined, then go inside it and say result equal to yes. But if some var is present, if some var is not defined, so it will go inside this. If some var is defined, it will go inside it. If some var is not defined, it will not go inside this because we are checking not equal to. And so if some var is defined, then only it will go inside it. So it will say yes. Since some var is not defined, I am not going inside it. But if I say somehow some var equal to 2 and then try this one, I will get the value of yes. So initially, when I was trying to use the some var in the if condition, it was giving me error. But now with the use of type of, I am not getting the error. So this is the one way you can check if the variable exists or not. So either you can do if any var. If you do like this, you should be make sure that any var is defined before this if statement. Otherwise, it will give any error. But if you don't want to define it, but you want to use it in the if condition to check the variable, then you can use this statement, type of any var. If I use type of is not equal to undefined, that means if I use type of, it will always give me undefined if it is not defined. But if it is defined, then I will get it some value. It is a string or somewhere, whatever value it is, whatever type it is. So for example, if I say some var equal to 1, 2, 3, and if I say type of some var, it is number. So it is not undefined. So I can go inside the if condition and I can use it. So this is the comparatively better way because it will not give this error. But if you want to see the error and you want to fix it by defining it before your code calls this if statement, then it is better you use directly your variable, and if it gives error, that means you have not defined it, you define it. So both have some advantages and disadvantages. Whatever you feel, you can use it. Another example is var a equal to 1, var result equal to empty string. I'll say if a equal to 1, and I can say else put something different. So I will say here if a equal to 1, I will say result equal to a is 1, and if it is not, I can say result is equal to a is not 1. So I put a if condition. Since a is equal to 1, therefore I get this part. I'm not getting into this part. In JavaScript, it is always preferred to use the 3 equal to rather than 2 equal to, and you should always compare the data type also. Since here it is numeric number, so I'm checking with the number 1 and I'm getting this part. This thing can also be done, this if else condition can be done in one line using the ternary operator. So how the ternary operator works, I can say var result equal to. So here I will check the condition. So here is the condition, and if this condition is true, I will execute this part. That is, I put the condition and then I put question mark, and if this condition is true, I will execute this part, else I will execute this part. So it has condition and question mark, and if condition is success, the thing after question mark will be executed. But if condition is false, then anything after the colon will be executed. So for example, let's take real example. I will say var result equal to, here I will check this same condition, a equal to 1. And if this condition is true, I will say the value of result will be a is 1. And then if this is false, then the value of result will be this one, which comes after the colon. So here, since a is equal to 1, we have seen, so this part will be assigned to the result variable. But if a would have been 2, like this, then this would have been false, and this part would have been executed, and this part would have been saved for the result. Okay, so now if I say result, it is a is not 1. I am getting this one. But if I make a equal to 1, then this condition will be true, and the value of result will be this one. So if I say result, a is 1. Okay, so this is called the ternary operator. It has the syntax of condition, and if it is true, we will say use this one, or if it is false, it will go, false value will go here, and true value will go here. So this is called ternary operator. But if things are very complicated, it is best to avoid the ternary operator and use the if-else condition or else if. If we have multiple loops, multiple conditions, then it is better to avoid this one and use the if condition. But if we have a simple condition with the one value, then it is better to use ternary operator. So this is all about the if condition. Now let's go to switch statement. Switch statement starts, syntax of switch statement is like this. I use the switch statement, and if I put some condition or some generally we put the variable value kind of thing. Okay, it's a condition, but generally this condition here is not the condition same as if condition. Here we put the variable value, variable name, and we will check that variable name with different cases. So for example, I have var a equal to 1, and in the switch statement I will check, and here I will pass a variable name a, which is this one, and I will check what is the value of a. So I will say if case 1, that is value of a is 1, then execute this lines of the code. Execute this line, and after that case I will put the break, and then I'll start with another case statement. If value is 2, then I will say execute this statement, execute this line, and I will put break. Then I will say case 3, and I will execute this line, and after each case I have to put a break. And in the last I will say default, and I will say here break. So in each case I will be putting some code that I will say console.log, I will say 1, console.log 1 is here. I will put anything, I'm just putting anything. It can be multiple lines of the code, it can be a function call, it can be a anything which you can write in the JavaScript, you can put it here. So for 2 I will put 2 is here. For 3 I will put 3 is here, and in the default I will put, let's say 4, and 4 is here. So remember, you have to put a break always after each case, so that a new case comes after that. So whenever a will find equal to 1, it will execute this line of the code, and after break it will come out of this block. And if I put the a equal to 2, it will run this line of the code, and after that it will break, that is, it will come out of this code block. So if I run this now, you will see I am getting 2 is here because value of a is 2. If I would have to put 3, it would have gone inside this one. So this is like this, we can create multiple cases, and here in the switch we have to pass the variable name, and that variable is compared with each case. Okay, and in the final, if it does not find any of this case, then it will go into the default, and it will show the whatever code is here in the default. Okay, so this is the switch statement, the details about the switch statement. Always try to indent the code here. Don't forget to put the break after each case. Don't forget to put the default case. So if all above case does not work, you should put default. Okay, so this is the important things about the switch statement. Okay, let's go to while loop, and then we'll do rest tomorrow. So this is the last thing we do. I'll do in 5 minutes, and then so before going to that one, I will show one image. So this is the image for while loop which we want to see. So this code A, this point A, whatever point A you are seeing, the code is going, and suddenly it finds the condition. What it is doing? It is finding the condition. If this condition is true, then it will go into the loop. It will loop. It will go. This L is loop. That means it will. If condition is true, it will go. It will run this line of code, and then again it will check the condition. And if condition is still true, it will again go in this loop in the round circle. And again it will check the condition, and if it is true, then again it will go into the loop, that is, it will turn this circle, and once the condition becomes false, it will go ahead and execute the B line of the code. So this is how the while loop works. It starts with some code which is represented by a number, and then it finds a condition, some condition, and if that condition is true, it will start going inside that loop, that code block. And once that code block is finished, it will check the condition again. And once that condition is true again, it will go inside the code block again. And after the code block is completed, it will check the condition again. And then once the condition becomes false, it will go ahead and execute the B line of the code, which is outside this condition, and it will go forward. So this is the representation of the while loop. So we are seeing the while loop. So for example, I will show you one example. I'm doing, see, line A is represented by some lines of the code. I am just have the code console.log ABC. Then I will do console.log. So these lines are running. This will be represented by the A in the image. Let me open the image again. So this A line of the code, I am writing it now. So I'll say console.log x, y, z. Okay. Now I create one variable var I equal to 0. Okay. So still we are in the A part. We are writing. Still we have not implemented the condition. So we are writing the code A. Let me write down the condition now. So let me write the condition while, and here I will put condition. What is the condition? I want to put the condition while I is less than 10, for example. So currently I is 0, that is less than 10. So that means the condition is true. So it will go inside this curly bracket. And inside the curly bracket, I will write some more statements. So this line is having these lines of the code. I will also put one more console.log. I is I. I will also put the value of I. Then I am running line this. And if I am writing while loop, I should be also be able to change the variable value I, so that after certain loop, it should be, this condition should become false. If this condition becomes false. If this condition will become false, then the code will come out of this if block, this curly bracket, and it will move to the next line. So if we see the image, the B part is this one, console.log done. This condition C part is nothing but this while I is less than 10. And then we go inside this loop L is nothing but this lines of the code. So whenever I'm writing while loop, I should be also be able to change the variable value so that at certain time this condition becomes false. So initially I is 0, then this condition is true because we have to check if I is less than 10, and definitely I is 0, that means less than 10. So that means this condition is true and it will run all these 3 lines of the code. But if I run this code and do not do anything to change the value of the I, then it will run infinite times of this one. So it will go on running this console.log I multiple times till it is exhausted in the memory, and then page will die. So what I have to do, I have to change the value of this I every time I run this loop. So I will say I plus plus. That means increase the value of I every time we are inside this if condition. That is if this code block, not if condition, the while condition in the while loop. So every time we run this code block, I will increase the value of I. So after 10 times, the I will become number 10 and this condition will become false, and then it will come out of this curly bracket and it will go to done. So remember, whenever you are writing while loop, you should also increase the value of I or decrease or change so that after certain time this condition becomes false. Initially it is true, and after certain time this should become false, so that user should come out of this code block. And if you don't make it false, then it will go multiple times, infinite times, and it will be a problem. The script will break. Now if I press enter, you will see I am running ABC XYZ, which is nothing but this one. And then I started with I equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And after 9, I will become 10. Since I become 10, the condition will become false and it will come out, and we will see in the last there's a done. Okay, so this is how the loop works, while loop works, and this is the syntax for the while loop. So that's all about today about the while loop, if condition, switch statement. Tomorrow we will see for loop and whatever is remaining. What is for loop? Only for loop is remaining, which we'll see tomorrow. And then we'll go back to functions again. Because in functions, I need some of this code to be used. That's the reason I am doing the basics of condition and loop before I start the functions again. Any questions regarding this?